A very warm welcome to you all. I am Vijay Sir. I am the Faculty of History here at L2A. Welcome to this lecture series on the sources of ancient Indian history, and today, as a part of archaeological sources, we are going to discuss about two important sources of archaeology. One is epigraphy, or it is also the study of inscriptions, is known as epigraphy. So, if you look at the etymological origins of this word epigraphy, it is derived from the Greek word epigraphin. एपिग्राफिन, इसका मतलब है टू राइट अपॉन और टू एनग्रेव. अभी भी ये एनग्रेव या लिखा जाता है. वी सी इट फ्रॉम टू इंस्टेंसेस. अभी भी कॉमन प्रैक्टिस में है. एक तो अगर कोई बरियल हो जाता है, देन उस वहां पे भी एरेक्ट सम बोल्डर्स एंड वी राइट अपॉन प्लेक्स. सो ऑन द प्लेक्स वी राइट इन लविंग मेमोरी ऑफ सो एंड सो, born on this date and died on this date. So that is in common practice even today. And we also see it when we buy some पीतल का बर्तन बड़ा बड़ा, या हमारा पुराने घर में देखेंगे तो पुराना बर्तन उठा के देख लीजिएगा, वहां पे कुछ हम अपना सरनेम या कौन गिफ्ट दिया है हमको वो सब लिखा जाता है. सो उसका मतलब है दैट इज एनग्रेव. सो सिमिलरली दिस एनग्रेविंग और टू राइट अपॉन, it has been an ancient practice, very ancient practice. Because the kings or the persons of importance or wealthy people wanted to communicate something, pass on the message from their headquarters to far-fetched areas. So if a king is trying to ask for inscriptions, write upon some message, he wanted to communicate it to his subjects. The best example is Ashokan inscriptions, where there are 14 major rock edicts which are lying in all the peripheries of the Ashokan or the Mauryan Empire. So it is all on the border areas of the Mauryan Empire. So he wanted to communicate a message to his subjects. So it's a very ancient practice. So by studying inscriptions, we also get the idea of the political, not only about the political events, but also about other socio-religious and cultural aspects, also the economic aspects of that particular period. So epigraphy or the study of inscriptions is an important source for reconstructing India's past. Okay. Then paleography means study of ancient writings on inscriptions, used in inscriptions, is known as paleography. That is language plus scripts used. Language scripts used on the inscriptions is known as paleography. Similarly, and the decipherment also becomes a part of paleography. If you look at the earliest epigraphies or inscriptions on India, which gives a detailed, some kind of a glimpses on India, we get it not from India but the Achaemenid Empire inscriptions. Achaemenid Empire. So where is this Achaemenid Empire? Empire is in present Persia, or present day Iran. So, as we all know, it was ruled by Cyrus the Great, Darius I, Xerxes. As you all must have heard or seen this movie called 300. So, which is which is a war between the Persian Empire, the Achaemenid Empire, and the Greeks. So, where Xerxes fight with the Greek army. So, we are also, because this this Achaemenid Empire has occupied the Gandhara part of the Indian subcontinent. They have occupied the Gandhara area, where Takshashila was its capital. We all know Takshashila University, and also Takshashila, Takshashila where Ashoka was a prince over there. So, Gandhara, they occupied Gandhara in the 5th century BCE. And the Greek authors, especially the Herodotus, and Megasthenes, talks about Gandhara being the 20th satrap or satrapi, 20th satrap. So the initial knowledge or information on a very cursory style is mentioned in the inscriptions of the Achaemenid. So what are those inscriptions? Behustin and Susa Palace inscriptions. So Behustin and Susa Palace inscriptions talk about the trade aspects and also the movement of people from the Indian subcontinent to the Achaemenid Empire. They also talks about Indian people fighting in the army of the Darius I and also on the Xerxes. So Susa Palace especially talks about how the teak wood or the timber from the Gandhar area, teak was carried away to Susa Palace in Persia and to build its palace. So it talks about the trade connections and the connections between the people. So initial glimpses on India are not found in India but in Iran, present day Iran, are the Achaemenid sources. So coming to paleography, if you look at it from the paleography point of time, paleographic point of view, the language used is Semitic languages like Aramaic, Kharosthi, and they also use the cuneiform script. So similarly, if you look at the Egyptian pharaohs, they use the hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs as their script. And in India especially, when we talk about India, we'll come to that. When we talk about Indian inscriptions, the initial inscriptions found in the Indian subcontinent is of Ashokan inscriptions. Ashokan inscriptions in the 3rd century BCE. So, they are the initial inscriptions which we use as a source for reconstructing ancient path. So, then the languages used in the Ashokan inscriptions are Prakrit and Brahmi script. Then he also used Greek Aramaic Greek, Kharosthi, and Aramaic languages in the northwest. In the northwest part of India, that is present Afghanistan and Pakistan. So he used Kharosthi and Aramaic languages for disseminating his information on stones, boulders, on pillars, etc. So inscriptions and the study of languages used in inscriptions is known as epigraphy. After Prakrit and Brahmi scripts, Sanskrit gained importance in the 2nd century BCE, though the oral tradition was much more older than the 2nd century BCE, but formally as a language or the lingua franca, it gained prominence during the period from 2nd century BCE to 2nd century CE. During the post-Mauryan period, Sanskrit gained importance, and the classical period is also at the time of the Gupta period in the 5th century CE. Sanskrit became widespread and prominent. So all the empire, especially those empires, the Gupta Empire and the Shatavahanas and even the other regional kingdoms have adopted Sanskrit as their official languages. Land grants have become very wide prominent in the Gupta period and the post-Gupta period, where they issued land grants in Sanskrit languages, and the regional languages came into prominence in 9th and to 12th century CE. They became widespread in the regional languages, and the inscriptions have begun to appear in regional languages from 9th to 12th century, and from 2nd century BCE to the post-Gupta period, Sanskrit has become the lingua franca, and all the inscriptions were issued in Sanskrit. So the study of languages and scripts used in inscriptions is known as paleography.